Rebel, do you have any clue how strong you are? I mean, I know that you're the one who lived through your story. You're the one who's still living and enduring your story, the aftermath of certain things, to make it through the emotions that you've been through. I am trying so hard not to read off this table as I speak to you, but Spirit really wants you to know and be reminded of how much you have endured and why these storms that are going to attempt to challenge you as you move along are no match for you. So Spirit really wanted me to bring this message to you to let you know, to remind you of who you are, to change the way that you look at blessings. Let's look at it like this: the be lessons, the lessons of being, the lessons of all that you have been through, all that you thought that you would have never made it through, the many years and the many reoccurring cycles, the awakenings that you have had, the awakenings that you did not even know that you needed because you were living in such a stagnant place in life that you just simply thought that that was all that things was ever going to be. Spirit said, if you can go back and have a meeting with your former version of yourself, you would tear their ass up and pull them away from the party with the quickness. I want you to really look at this spread. And then I am going to explain what it is that Spirit had me do. What it is that Spirit wanted me to lay out before you is your past. This was your further past. This is the past version of yourself where you were conditioned into, that you just knew you didn't belong, but you made an exception because you didn't know how to make your way out. To be in the starting position, and to be in the starting position, I need you to see this, to understand this, because this is the beginning, this is the end, this is your everything, sweetheart and house. I know you've had challenging times. I know you feel like you have not always weighed your scales on the side with the angels, but the angels understood that you had your reasons. I know that you feel that not even that you feel, but that you know for a fact that you have done some things that should have taken your ass out. But Spirit said the reason why they have been working with you, and the reason why they have made sure that you have had plenty of time, though you felt that pressure as if you always knew that you were not promised tomorrow. Spirit said because they knew that within you was the sweetheart. This sweetheart that people have difficulty in understanding how it is that you are so loving, so caring, so kind, as you are now, with so much going to hell in the environment around you. Even with them bringing chaos to you, you still deal with things in a way that others could not have predicted because they want to see you react. They want to see you respond. And the thing about it is that you have been reacting. You have been responding. You just haven't been doing it textbook quality to what has been scripted of everybody else. You know, those things that they see in the movies. And that's what they've been expecting of you. And you haven't given that to them. And it's not that you're even resisting giving that to them. At times, most definitely. Because sometimes, baby. But it's not that you've been resisting giving it to them. You have just changed your way of how you see life. You have really reevaluated the necessaries and the unnecessaries. You really have been choosing your battles wisely. Why deplete yourself of the emotions and the energy that can be used and valued in other realms in your experiences? just to meet someone on the level that they're at, to give them the satisfaction of seeing you spiraling out of control, knowing that they're not going to be the one to help you pick up those pieces or regather yourself or make sense of the situation. You will be responsible for that. So the way that you have been taking care of your house, the way that you have been taking care of your temple, your emotional space, your mental space, even balancing out those places that you realize that here in this lifetime you have been performing in lack. The way that you upkeep your space and your sanity. I also heard sanctity, but your sanity of yourself. There's been so many times that has been proven to you that no one's going to come and save you. No one's going to come and rescue you. And when people attempt to correct you, it comes at a cost. And that cost isn't always going into your pocket, nor into your favor. So the only being that you have been able to depend on throughout your journey, to be honest with you, is you. Spirit said that you have finally learned to trust yourself. I am still not reading off of the table. Just simply channeling this energy and this message from Spirit. Spirit said that you have finally learned to trust yourself, even in those moments of doubt. The enthusiasm that you have for yourself to keep on going. To know that even if things aren't great right now, or the best of the quality that you know that it can be, you know that you're striving for it. That's the direction that you're heading. So you're not even sweating the small stuff. You're maintaining yourself. You are maintaining the upkeep of you. You are not inviting anyone to your humbled abode, to your house, to your sanctuary, to the internal spaces of yourself where you know that they're going to leave you with a mess that only you will be responsible for cleaning up. So Spirit said they want you to understand you're going to keep on getting these constant reminders of this cycle that you are currently in, because they want you to let it sit. They want you to let it rest. They want you to understand how much this is really a part of who you are now. For instance, there are times that if you go to a store and you go in for one thing, you come out with multiple things. And when you get home and you unpack that bag, you tend to forget all the stuff that you grabbed. Though everything that you grabbed was things that was necessary for you, things that you needed. Spirit said it's just like that. You went into this journey with one goal in mind, but that goal acquired of so many other things. So therefore you will be getting this repetitive communications from Spirit, reminding you of all the details, all the fine print that you have added into this new contract of yours, that you have adjusted from those old contracts of yours. But Spirit said, let's go ahead and start this message, honey. So here we have mature masculine, mentally and emotionally unstable, karmic femme, and evil eye. The bypassers and the people who you thought were family and the people who were titled as family within your life, you have defeated this energy. Spirit said you definitely, at times, your face tells on you. When you look at them, when they say things, when they act in certain ways, they are so not present that they can't tell that you're looking at them like they're crazy, that they're unknowing and unaware of themselves. But Spirit said there are times that your face tells it all. So they would like for you to work on that, not to be deceiving or deceptive, but just to guard yourself, because there are those who are rather talented in reading facial expressions. They may not be able to read your energy, but they are rather talented at reading facial expressions. And Spirit said this is just something that they want you to work on, okay? But you have defeated these energies, whether it be, this masculine. I'm not necessarily looking at gender when it comes down to this karmic femme or this mature man, but just the energy that they hold, the mentally and demented. Okay, the mentally and demented and emotionally unstable and the evil eye energies of judgment that you started your life in. Here you have the Queen of Cups, the Star, and the Four of Swords. The overall energy that was supporting you in being defeated in your past, in your darker days, in your unknowing years, in the twilight era of yourself, was you being in opposition of your own self, being categorized as a Jezebel, not realizing that the performance of yourself was needy, was greedy, as well demented, as well mentally and emotionally unstable. And the evil eye thing, honey, the jealousy, the rage that you felt, the anger, the entitlement that you were sitting in, that you were in the midst of within your being. But even with that being attached to you, even with that being a part of your external environment that groomed you, Spirit said this is definitely a grooming. It was definitely a grooming. You were still trying to give to others. You were still in that energy of wanting to nurture, wanting to give to others. You were looking for love. You didn't know how to love yourself because the way that you were shown love was that you had to give love and then someone would approve of you. But it completely lost you within your brain, within your own understanding of what even reciprocity was. Because how is it, and this is the question that Spirit is saying, that you can now look back at your older familiar self and say, how is it that you were the only one who was expected to give love? You were the only one who was expected to audition for love. And every single person that you came by and that, you encountered was supposed to approve you or reject you. Spirit really wants you to look back at those people who you rejected, who were on the same plan that you were, where they were auditioning for your love, your time, your affection. Give them a simple sorry. Give them a simple apology. Send it out into the universe. They'll get the message if they're willing to receive. But something about you always knew that you were meant for greater. And in order for you to get there, Spirit really needed for you to rest with yourself. But I'm looking at this Four of Swords and realizing how she's resting with herself. All the other swords on the wall. But even within her sleep state, even within your resting periods, you were still highly defensive due to your traumas, unbeknownst to you, due to your triggers, unbeknownst to you, due to how you were just built, how you were just raised. Now, Spirit is saying you still do have that. Everything that is being spoken on throughout this read is still a part of you. But you have definitely loosened your grip and you have secured yourself from having to be so defensive. Spirit say you now see yourself. You now know who to give to, who to receive from, who to give back to, and who really appreciates it. Spirit is also telling me that you're not even mad about being rejected anymore. That to you, being rejected is like a trophy, because you know that within each rejection that you get, that means that you're getting closer to that yes that is meant for you. You're not throwing a tantrum anymore. You're not judging yourself based upon what others have deemed your experience to mean for them. You no longer are working against yourself. Now, this is where the ties went crazy. Justice, the Hierophant Tower here with Voodoo and Courthouse. These are the cycles that you just went through. The awakening points that brought you to your current ways of being. You made that choice. You stood on it. Yes, there was some back and forth. You was working yourself like a seesaw, honey. There was some back and forth. You had to go through all the fine prints of everything that it is that you have ever chosen for yourself. Everything that was even forced upon you. You said, this ain't mine. That's not mine. I can use this for later. You cleaned house. You cleaned your space. You learned to listen to yourself. You spend so much time listening to others back here. You spend so much time listening to others and supporting their dreams and supporting their goals and making sure that they can sleep at night. Making sure that they had everything that they needed. And you had next to nothing for yourself, because everything that you did have, you were giving out, you were sharing. Some things that were your favorite things, or even things that were very sentimental of value to you, you never even got back. Some things that you gave out that was sentimental of value to you, you gave to people who you never again seen or even speak to this day. Now you know what parts of you, internally and externally, are meant for you, for your keepings, for you to treasure. Even down to your words, Spirit is telling me. You have become your greatest protector. You have become your greatest, I heard bravest nurturer. Because so many people felt that you were too much to handle. So many people didn't understand what the hell they was even saying you were too much to handle. Why did you need anyone to feel that they needed to handle you in the first place? Spirit is even saying that there was some people saying that you were just too much, that your standards was too high, that your dreams were too big, that you weren't living in reality, that you were delusional, that you just weren't connected in a sensible space. There were so many times, so often, that people really forced their interest onto you. People really forced their fears onto you. People really took their best shot, and a lot of times it did work. People really took their best shot at you to get you to do things that they would not have ever done themselves, and to this very moment still have yet to do, even though it was their idea. So with this Hierophant, the Justice, and the Tower, you blew all that shit up. You blew all that shit up. I do realize that at the bottom of this card, you have the Tower. There's a bird here. But here, there's a crown. There was something about your past that you were really good at, but it could not come with you moving forward. And it was that trait about you, that characteristic about you, that kept people interested in you. This is something about you, or the ways that you used to be, something that you used to do, that it kept your phone ringing off the hook. It kept people coming back, wanting you to be the life of that vicinity at that party. And when you let that go, that crown got knocked off your head. And it was very uncomfortable, of course, at first and for the longest. But now you are at a space where you can look back and you can see what it is that those people actually valued about you, even though it defeated you, even though it kept you stuck, even though it kept you toxic, even though it kept you with them. Spirit saying this space of this, you being the life of the party. It's the same reasons why you had to cut all of them off, because you were no longer that person. You no longer moved in those spaces. Spirit says that you have definitely inserted morals and values and principles to your identity, not just your name. You made the tough choices for yourself. Spirit said, fuck what other people would have chose. But you made the tough choices for yourself to be more comfortable and be more in tune with you. And Spirit really wants you to know, no weapon against you shall prosper. Here with Voodoo in court, I'm seeing spiritual court. Honey, they say you're constantly passing with flying colors. This is like you knowing what you have done in the past. Like, for instance, here's a perfect example. I remember when I was younger, and I'm saying young 20s, I was younger, and I got caught in a situation with this guy. And they wind up having me in a holding cell. Now, I've never seen the inside of a prison. I think that's called jail. Honey, it was a holding cell, okay? It's a small town. But I was in a holding cell overnight. They gave me a court date. I went to court that next day. And the craziest thing, I actually met a chick who said she had the same birthday as me. They got released that same day. But anyway, they released me that night. Well, that next day, and they gave me a court date. And when I went to court, I knew what the situation was. I knew what it was about. And I went to court, and they called everybody's name. They went through the docket, and the judge had asked, is there anyone here who we did not call, who was supposed to be here this day? And I stood up, and I was sitting there with my parents, and I gave them my name. And they said that all charges was dropped against me. All charges was dropped. And this is what Spirit is saying, that you have blessed yourself, your B lessons. The fact that you took accountability, the fact that you had awareness, the fact that you were willing to own up to not just your part within your ignorance, of not knowing of the consequences, or the fact that what you were doing was bad things, but that you were willing to show up even without pointing fingers at those who should had been held accountable. Baby, confirmation. You have taken so much more on your plate, and a lot of that shit wasn't even yours. Spirit knows your heart. They know you. So even with Voodoo here, there's nothing anybody can do energetically in attempts to fuck you up, fuck you over, or even delay you that should even work, unless you allow yourself to take steps back to being this person who you were back then, where you gave in spaces that you knew that you may not receive back, but you were hoping that someone would, that you gave people of your things, of yourself, without them even showing you who they are. When this justice and this Hierophant and the tower came out, I knew that you were a very strong being. Because to not just look at the injustices that you have participated in, and without the excuse of, and taking away the excuse of, well, I didn't know any better. But to ask yourself, why is it that I didn't know any better? To whom did not want me to see this? What about my life did not allow me to be interested in knowing that this was not good to participate in? But to also look at the injustices of your loved ones, with the parts that they played, not just towards you, but towards themselves. You know, like that friend who call you on the phone all the time, who, oh my goodness, I hate him, I hate him, I hate him. But next time you turn around, they still with them. You made such a promise to yourself to be honest. And that honesty that you have with yourself is so genuine. It's tough to find someone who's willing to expose themselves, not just to others, but to themselves, the way that you have. So Spirit said that they understand you are not being fearful out here in life. Even when it comes down to relationships and friendships, Spirit understands that it is not you being fearful, it is you being discerning. And that's another thing that Spirit wants you to understand, that you brought home with you, that you just grabbed off the shelf because it belongs to you. And they need you to validate that understanding of yourself. You are no longer fearful, even though you know that there's a lot of wicked things out here amongst this world. But you are no longer fearful. You're just using your discernment. It's not even that you're being cautious. You are using your discernment. You don't want to apply for a script and be a role in as a character in someone else's story, or even your story, trying to do things for the plot to see, oh my goodness, how is this going to turn out, when you already see and know, and that you remember how long it took for you to have certain other experiences of yours be revealed to you. And those times and those conversations that you've had with yourself of, if I would have just let it go sooner, if I would have just let it go when they said, when I saw, when I felt like, you have officially forgiven yourself. And that's beyond a beautiful thing. That is a necessary requirement for actually being able to be you. Now, Spirit said, let's go ahead and move this right along. Because, honey, right here with that bird, Spirit said, remember, you could have been up in this tower where the bird came to try to give you the message, but you decided to ignore it. But instead, you took on the wisdom. You took on the understanding. You balanced the scales of not just fairness, but your belief. And you said, knock that crown off my head. I don't need it anymore. You have it all in memory. You didn't need anybody around to praise you for the things that you once done, because you realize that life moves on, and it is meant and that it's intentional for you to be able to have new experiences, not to keep on living the reoccurring things and getting up there in age and finally meeting the day of your dawn and saying, damn, I didn't do much with my life. Spirit said, doesn't it feel good to actually be alive now? Now, baby, now this is cool, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. Spirit wants me to stop right here and read this. It's the Archangel Michael. It says, pay attention to your dreams. Thank you for tucking me into bed tonight and helping me enjoy the wonderful, restful night's sleeps. Archangel Michael, I invite you into my dreams as my teacher, my guide, and healer. Please allow me to understand. And it says, fill in the blank right here. Describe the situation on a spiritual level and give me guidance. So if there's any challenges that you feel that you have been met with, speak to Archangel Michael. Ask him to guard your windows. Ask him to guard your doors. Ask him to guard your properties, your household, to follow you, to be next to you, to be your protector. And it shall be so. But now, also as well, Spirit wants me to read this. I'm going to put this right here for you. I thought it was a grasshopper, but actually it's a cricket. And it says, this innocent young might be just a Jiminy Cricket you need to ignite your genius and believe in your own potential. Follow the lead of your freest free spirit in the spirit world and start putting your creativity in the spotlight with a triple shot of great energy. Hold the hang-ups. Okay, hold the hang-ups. Don't worry about those. Judgment and fear might be useful in some pursuits like dodgeball or the Hunger Games, but they won't serve you now. So whatever your idea is, put it out there. The plant needs your voice, no matter how silly you once thought it was. Fear is boring. I'd rather be soaring and also speaking in rhymes, apparently. Rebels, if you don't go ahead with your bad self and understand who the hell and who the fuck it is that you are now, you are not that weakling who was so adjustable and burnable to just anything that came past your doorstep or past your face. You don't fall for the shit that you used to fall for. You're not up for the antics like you used to be up. Now, this is not to say that you done gotten old, because we're talking about your spirit. The fact that you are not up for any of that stuff now, that you are not ripe for the pickings of any of those things now, speaks to your maturity, speaks to your understanding of how valuable you are and how precious it is that you are and who it is that you are within your being. That it's one band, one sound with you. Now, it's not to say that you know that no one can come along and join your band, but they have to audition. They have to show themselves. They have to be projection. Why we get projection once it come right here? None the matter. We're just gonna speak it out and keep on going. But they have to audition for you now, because you know the treasure that you are. And Spirit said they're gonna keep on reminding you of the treasure that you are. In your every moment, in every blessing and abundance, and just the peace that you have that others are complimentary complaining about. Wow, confirmation. Ain't that something? Complimentary complaining about, but Spirit gave me that download with the energy of entitlement. They feel like they have the right to complain and wait for someone to come in their life to readjust things for them. No matter how many times they fuck it up, they feel that others should just come in and readjust things for them because they feel that they're worthy. But Spirit said that's not you. You are such a independent person. Look at what we had. Look at what you have here. Okay, so soulmate in relationships, honey. Soulmate in relationships. I forgot that was there. I be channeling, looking up, and getting the energy from Spirit that I be forgetting what's on the table. But soulmate relationships and soulmate. I'm even looking at how these people, they could be heading to a beach, right? But either which way, they are exposed to the best of their ability to be exposed. And Spirit is even telling me the reason why they are covered up in the areas that they are covered up. Notice their privates are covered up. Those parts of them that they are still discovering. The parts of them that they are still learning about themselves. So Spirit said you are going to now encounter people who are telling you about themselves to the best of their awareness, their research, and their knowledge. Not to the best of their knowledge, but best of their awareness, their research, and their knowledge. But I love that for us. I love that for you. I love that. Okay, and here with this page of wands back here, the fiery energy of the fiery energy of you just being a go-getter, of you going for what it is that you want, of you not selling yourself short, you not even being greedy and saying that people got to come to you with this much in order to even be around you. It's one of those come as you are, and I'll let you know if I accept it or not. You now have criterias. You now like that gratitude list that you have, whether you've written it down or if it's just internally within you. You are so protective and you are so guarded over that. And this is not about you being shallow, and this is not about you feeling like you're better than anybody else. You just know what it took for you to be able to maintain you. And you refuse for anyone to come along and cause you to be unstable and insane and a fucking sight to see, like it's a free circus. But maybe with that you got the Nine of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. Your independence is top tier. The fact that it would be nice to have someone shoulder the crown, but you don't. The fact that it would be nice to, but would it really? To have that question of, but would it really? Because knowing that if you expose so much about your vulnerability to someone who has not shown you authentically who they are, because they have yet to meet themselves authentically of who they are, without the societal constructs, without the judgment, without the community reputation that needs to be upheld, you will be doing yourself a disservice. But it would be nice, right? But you got you. And you're enjoying life, and you have liberated yourself. You are willing to put as much work in as necessary to make sure that you are satisfied in all areas of your life. This is not the energy of someone who is waiting for someone to buy them a big old house and give them this fancy lifestyle. You said no, you're going to build it for yourself. That everything that you have throughout your hardships and on the other side of it is going to be of your making. And I sure forgot that these was right here, honey. Ace of Pentacles, the Empress, and the Fool. Just all over this reading. Even though I forgot, just all over this reading. The patience that you have for yourself is the ultimate form of love, and loving yourself unconditionally. While we grabbing right here, I saw this in my mind's eye. Shut the talk about a magic trick. Yes. And it says, Mary Magdalene, unconditional love. Love yourself, others, in every situation, no matter the outward appearance, no matter what the outward appearance may be. Baby, I saw that card in my mind's eye, and I'm looking over at the other side of the table, back over here at the star, just thinking to myself, all the things that you have been through, all the memories that you have, that you are no longer emotionally connected in the sense that it depletes you when you think about those things. But that you dance and praise, don't make me start crying, that you dance and praise and excitement and gratitude for everything that you've been through, and the fact that you are not still living in that mental mind space now. And then this card in my mind, the back of the card, babe, the back of the card showed up in my mind's eye, and I looked over and it was there. And this is a deck that I put together from 2 other decks, right? And this is the back of the other cards that's in there. Now this says, face your financial fears, honey. You facing them. And the other thing that Spirit wanted me to tell you, I'm going to read this first, and then we're going to facial. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. It says when you are honest with yourself about fears of success or failures, they can no longer control you. Be free of holding fears by expressing them to the light of awareness, and you will realize that in fact you have nothing to fear, and that every successful person has struggled with and released themselves of doubt. Now, what I was gonna say, Spirit said, look at this. You started off with the Queen of Cups, giving to others because you wanted others to like you, giving to others because you wanted to belong, giving to others because you felt that they were more value and more worthy than they even felt themselves to be, giving to others and just giving to the point that it became a fucking addiction for you. So now, being in the Queen of Pentacles energy, met by the Empress, tying tying all of this together, saying, you know what, I've been in an emotional state for forever. I've been in an emotional state most of my damn life. I've been in an emotional state that every decision that I have ever made before now has been due to my emotional space, how I felt, what I didn't want to feel. You volunteered yourself for fucked up situations a lot of the times because you feared the outcome. Confirmation, you feared the outcome being something that was gonna hurt you even more, and at times you walked straight into this lion's den, not realizing that those were the times that you were supposed to hold yourself back. And here with the Justice, the Tower, and the Hierophant, and not in that order, because it was all over the place. At times, these three cards right here got shifted and moved over all over the place. At times, there was the Tower here, the Tower there. They moved all over the place, right? But through all of this, you made it here, where you're independent and you are fine on your own. Not to say that you won't have anybody, not to say that you can't manage with the people that you do have in your life, not to say that you won't welcome and permit someone to be a part of your life, to share in your life, and you share your life with them. But that whether you have someone or not, that you are stable with your spirit, that you are stable with yourself, that you are so abundant. Okay, this rabbit is on the go. It's on the go. For you to know who to give, when to give, even if it's just because, and you not be emotionally connected or tied down by what it is that you are giving away, because you are freeing yourself and you're giving away. That's the other message Spirit is saying we need to talk about. Within your creativity, whatever it is, create it and give it to the world and continue to move about. Create it, give it to the world, and continue to move on with your life. But, and let's get back to it. Oh, confirmation. The fact that you are able to resource yourself because you have researched yourself is your abundance. And I'm hearing it's just a fraction of the abundance that is going to continue to flood into your life. And they said, don't worry about drowning. You are able to handle everything that is coming your way. Okay? So with the Ace of Pentacles, the Empress, and the Fool, honey, you got such a strong start going on and happening for you. Honey, listen. I don't even know where to put them. So you done bid your farewells. You done got your closure. You got your closure. And whenever something new possibly comes in that's actually old, you make sure you already know how to guide yourself through this closure. And I'm realizing these kids right here, barefooted in a waterfall with the angel. No matter how rocky things get, no matter how slippery or wet those rocks get, know that the angels are there with you. So no matter how you climb, Your mountains, no matter what mountain you are climbing, know that the angels got you. Don't have self-doubt in yourself. But distance. What is this? Distance, blockage, and separation. Spirit saying, new levels, new devils. Pay attention to those who are going to be bluffing and pretending and watching you. But Spirit says it's not going to take for a lot of, it's not going to take a lot for you to register. Because just like it's in you and it's not on you, they're pretty much going off of what they see on you. Pay attention to how it is that, are they protecting themselves the way that you would protect yourself? The way that you understand protecting value actually happens. We couldn't give me some better words for that, Spirit. Okay. And it says, baby, angel of alchemy. Angel of alchemy, miracles. And then it says, hope is on the horizons. So rebels, I love you and I adore you, but I'm about to get you these messages and I'm going to get you out of here. And baby, freedom with the horse. And it says, you must break out of any limitations that are holding you back, whether they are self-imposed or put on you by others or society. Break free and run faster towards your dreams. Baby, Spirit is saying, keep on dreaming. And that you're going to get the message. Because who would ever known that those dreams that you had back here would have guided you, would have been the outlet to get you this far along. Keep going. To be the empress in the full energy. The only next best thing would have been being the emperor. But then again, we're not even looking at genders. So keep going. Keep going. Just keep going. And the Spirit saying, we're not telling you to keep on going because there's any doubt or any hesitancy or any reason that they feel that you will stop. They're telling you, hey, they're rooting for you. So then you have 0550 with the eye candy. Get some fresh air and call some of your pals over. Honey, do you got any that you can trust? Okay, anyway, take a look around you. There is so much natural beauty waiting to be discovered. Either you will soon become involved in an exciting new project or you will go out on a date. Put your charisma to use everywhere. Spread your charm around. So, baby, Spirit is saying you are meant to enlighten spaces with the energy that you have. And I wanted to use the word share, but Spirit said that just sounds sleazy at times. Why are we looking at this? Is this a warning? Babe, powerful woman, strong achievement, success, leadership. Rebels, I love you and I adore you, but you go live your life. Keep on doing as well as you've been doing and continue to do even better. Go live your life. Make it do what it needs to do for you, babe. Go Rebels.